Thank you for watching and listening to my story. I want to believe you have been inspired and you are inspired to take action. One of the things that inspired me in life is to be able to impact as many people as possible. Individuals, and as we were explaining before, SMEs, people who are in small businesses, people who have just started up. The other group I'm very inspired to talk to is the people who are stuck and stagnant in life. There are people who are employed somewhere, they are stagnant, they are in a rut, they don't know how to move forward. And these people are so much interested in entrepreneurship and business. I used to be in that position at some point in my life, and it took so long to make a decision. There are several challenges that I faced, and I would like to share some of those and demystify and maybe help you make a decision and move from where you are to a much better place where you can pursue your purpose and your passion in life. So where do we start? One of the things that was very clear to me is that I wanted to do business from the very beginning. My academic credentials aside, I used to top classes, but most people would have expected me to become most likely a professor, most likely a serious academician. But personally, in my heart, I knew I really wanted to be someone who can effect change and practical change. And I felt business was the way to go, and I was very passionate about it. I took so many years. By the time I was leaving my workplace in 2015, this is a decision I have been thinking from as long as, way back, as long as 2010, when I got a job in Safaricom. I'll share at some point my education. So are you stuck in a rut somewhere? The first thing is you need to change your belief system. One of the things that enabled me to make that decision that very day is I kept convincing myself. What did I believe in? I believed in practical change, impacting people. I knew for me to be able to change my life to the power I am right now, I needed to move from where I was to move to entrepreneur where I was supposed to be. So I kept convincing myself until one day it stuck in me, and now I knew I can move. So you need to keep changing your belief system, meaning you have to start reading the right things. I'm an ardent reader. I like reading biographies, life books, business books, something that can give me hope and some ideas and techniques that I can pursue. Even in terms of friends, that's another thing I learned. I have friends from all corners, but I also have friends I really listen to, people who have been in business before, either by reading their books, there are those who have written books, or by having close friendship with them. The people who are friends with people who cannot help you, and you need to evaluate that circle of friends. So belief system is important. The next thing I would like to share is my preparation. I would advise someone to have 6 months worth of upkeep before you venture into business. You are fired, you are interested, you want to go into business and leave employment. Entrepreneurship has become a cliche word. People want to move to entrepreneurship, but you need to prepare well enough. That's one of the things I did. I had done some saving for some time, and I used to convince myself, if this business does not work, I'll have found another solution in 6 months. I even felt like I would pay rent for 6 months to be very sure, but I kept some bit of money. The other thing I used to say, this is a land business where 1 unit would go for 400,000. I used to tell someone, I only need to sell 2 so that I can pay my rent for the whole year. Then I used to ask myself every time, can I sell 2 plots as a company in 1 year? And to be honest with you, it was a struggle at that point. But right now we sell thousands of pieces of land every year. So preparation is key. The other thing you need to engage your family, which I did for a long time. Even when I was dating my wife, I remember one of the things that I was very keen on. I used to tell her one day I'll get into business, something I'm interested in, And I used to tell her continuously. It's not something she was receptive, but over time she realized this guy is interested and passionate about it. So you also need to engage your loved ones, your family, at the appropriate time, as early as you can. Start sharing your plans so that you have buy-in. You need a support system in them. Also, you have close family friends and other people who really can motivate you. Focus on those who can motivate you, not those who will discourage you into it. Sometimes we even look for people to discourage us because we are also frightened of taking that step in life. Listen to that voice, even if it's 10% of your friends or your family that is encouraging you, listen to that. You also need to identify an area of interest and passion. I've been passionate about entrepreneurship. I'm also passionate about impacting practical. I talk about practical ideas and practical impact to the society. Starting with myself, I need to change my life and live well. That one of my family. And something that I can be able to see. You have to think about that. You need an idea, a business that is scalable and sustainable. You may be passionate about areas where if you are to start a business, you cannot even get a living out of it. I'm one of the advocates of living practically in life. Basically, you can't have those big ideas that cannot work in our market. You have to have a practical idea. Check whether it is something that can grow, that is scalability, and something that is sustainable. How long can you do this business? And because most of you are smart people, you are educated, you are experienced, you are learned, you are maybe working with a big multinational. I want to believe you have the capacity required to be able to do this analysis. So before you leave employment, not all businesses work. You have to ensure that you start a scalable and a sustainable business. And that is one of the things we did. We did a business plan when we left. We are asking ourselves, how many people can we be able to change their life by having them buy our property? How many people can we impact? We have a business plan, and we knew we needed to buy 100 acres, create an estate there as a gated community, and be able to house like 300 families there. So we would provide water, electricity, and we knew we can be able to dispose of or sell the property off maybe for the next 3 months using the right marketing mix and all those things. So you need to have that figure in mind. If you cannot be able to know, if you cannot be able to have an idea, of course you have to start somewhere. You don't need to see all the steps. But if you cannot be able to have an idea of how you are going to make a living, even if it's something you are passionate about, I would ask you to consider something else before you leave employment. The other thing I would like to share is about risk, calculated risk. It's about thinking big. It's about taking big risk. They say big risk, big rewards. It works everywhere. But remember, you have to make them calculated. You can't wake up today and say, I'll be the biggest supplier of transport services in Kenya. It is just big. You can't wake up today and say, I'll be the biggest real estate company. That is very big. You have to think, where do I start? We started with 5 acres piece of land. We knew number one, we would get, the number of plots was 42 at that point in time, 5 plus acres. And we knew this is how long we would sell it and where we would sell it. We are not very sure, but we have an idea. And we did our math very well. If you are able to sell all of it, this is the amount we would get, this is the profit you get, and you will have more money to be able to move them. Basically, what I'm talking about, you need to have some bits of visibility, some bits of calculation to be able to move forward. Don't go in blindly. I would also like to advise someone to have, like I said, a business plan. And a business plan is not 100 pages, those theses that people write when you're doing your PhD. A business plan is basically like a document where you list basic actions that you need to take to achieve your vision. It might even be a 2-page document. What do you list in a business plan, which we'll cover in another day? Number one, you need to have the product or the service. What are you selling? After you say that, you need to specify how many of them are you going to sell in a specific period of time. In a month, in 3 months, in a half year, in 1 year. How many are you targeting to sell? That is number one. Number two, how much capital do you need to be able to actualize that? And you have to be very practical. And where are you going to get that copy? For us, we were able to raise from chamas, friends of ours and friends, and we were able to take unsecured loan maximum. That's how we were able to answer that question. The third thing is the expenses. How much do you need to be able to operate the business? Remember, you have to employ someone. Remember, you have to pay rent and many other expenses, and also marketing expenses. The fourth thing that you have to do is you have to know how to sell. And this is one of the scariest skill. That's one of the challenging skills I have to develop as a person. I had to challenge myself to know how to sell. I did not know how to. But at the beginning of the business, I used to sell. It's like I was the front office person, admin. I used to be the guy who will sweep the floor. I used to be the messenger. I used to do everything. But one of the most important skills is to sell. How are you going to sell the services or the products you have? Assuming you are offering, maybe you are selling soaps. How many soaps are you planning to sell in 1 year, and how are you going to do them? Are you going to go to TV to advertise? Are you going to do a billboard? You need to have thought about those basic measures. The last thing I talk about a support system, very key. Ensure you loop in your family, update them as necessary. And as I said, not every family will encourage. You have to know who to engage. Of course, your spouse comes as number one. That's why you are married in the first place. That's why you are together. You need to keep updating, get buy-in, because business is challenging. One thing I would like to say about business, if you are starting, look for partners. That's another thing we'll cover in another day. Business is challenging. Have you encountered moments when we felt like stopping? Moments when we failed miserably and we felt like we don't need to go on. There's a time where 5 million was stolen. I remember it very clearly. And we felt like our business came to the stop. I usually ask myself, what would have happened if I was alone? This thing can kill you emotionally, and it is very important to have partners. We'll cover another topic about in future, about how you can choose partners. My partners are my friends. We were in school with one of them. We met with the other director in a church place. And we were able to know that all of us are interested, and we have stayed intact for those 5 or so years that username has been in existence. So we'll share that and more. So basically, if you are there, seated somewhere, you keep postponing this decision, you know you are supposed to be in business, but you are not gotten in, I believe you have some of the tips that you can follow, and you're also inspired and encouraged to take action. You just need one day to wake up and take that action. But remember, before you do that, you have to plan for it. It's not just one day waking, I'm tired with this job. There are those who also feel they get tired, then they think business is easier. My friend, it is not. You actually do more. We are engaged 150% by business, almost on daily basis. Sometimes you go home stressed, overworked, and the buck stop with me every day. These are big responsibility I have for all the number of customers I have, the more than 5,000 the employees I have. These are livelihoods. So the buck stops with you, and you can't escalate that you used to do in employment. So this side is not easier if you are not determined. So make your decision and follow your purpose and passion in life. You see your life change, that of your family, that of your country, and that of your community. So as we said, where did I start? Where did all this start? what are other life stories that we do have? Did we grow, have the same background? Did you have the same challenges when you are young, when you are growing? Have I been doing business all my life? Be able to answer that question in our next episode. Thank you so much for watching. I'm the CEO of Username Investment Limited. Please subscribe to my channel, engage, comment, share with your friends, and take action.